What up, bitches? It's the MisanthropikOne, aka Solomon Grundy, the 7th Sovereign, and I'm back up in this bitch for another rant/review. Today, I'd like to talk about this album right here, Celph and Buckwild's collaboration album called 1990 Now. Guys, this album is serious. It's right up there with that D.I.T.C and the Returners album that I just reviewed. This album is fucking tough. This is the truth right here. For 2010, this could arguably be the album of the year right here. This shit is... wow. Where do I begin? History lesson on Self-Titled. He's an MC from Florida, and he moved up to New York in the late 90s, early 2000s, I believe. He moved up to New York. He's a heavy punchline lyricist, and he's associated with the underground rap group Demigods. He's in the Demigods with Apathy and one of my other favorite MCs. And he's also in the underground hip-hop supergroup known as Army of the Pharaohs. Y'all know, like King Magnetic, Vinny Paz, Reef the Lost Cause. He's in a big supergroup with them. And Self-Titled has been making his mark on the hip-hop game for a minute now. And he has yet to come out with an album that's just strictly him, because he's a producer too. He's a dope beatsmith, but he came out with an album he could call his own, but he just got Buckwild, the famous Buckwild from the Digging in the Crates crew, a fucking super producer. He hooked up with Buckwild for this album, and like I said with the D.I.T.C shit, a lot of motherfuckers talk about taking it back to the golden era of hip-hop, and that's exactly what you get when you get this album. When you listen to this album, you're gonna hear exactly that. Just straight old school boom bap production. It brings you back to that essence of 90s, early to mid 90s hip-hop. And Self-Titled with his hardcore gangsterish style is just perfect combination. That's just it, plain and simple. Great combination. Right now I want to talk about the features on this shit. You got Tretch from Naughty by Nature. Big up Tretch, a Jersey MC, legendary Jersey MC by the way. We got one of my favorites, Vinny Paz from Jedi Mind Tricks. He dropped a dope album this year, Season of the Assassin. Do not sleep on that album. Who else? We got Apathy. He's in the Demigods, like I said, with Self-Titled. One of my favorite MCs again, Ryu of Styles and Beyond. Excuse me. You got Esoteric from 7L and Esoteric. Also dropped a dope album this year called 1212. Pick that shit up. Got FT on here. R.A. the Rugged Man. Y'all know I got mad love for R.A. the Rugged Man, so I'm not even gonna go there with him. You got Sadat X and Grand Puba from Brand Nubian. You got AG, OC, and Diamond D from Digging in the Crates. Alright, I mentioned Apathy already. You got Chino XL, another fucking legendary Jersey lyricist. and you got Magic Most and Dutch Massive, who were in Self-Titled's first group called Equilibrium. They get together on one track on here to rip shit apart. Now I'm gonna get onto the tracks on this shit, but before I do, two things I wanna let y'all know. These are all unreleased beats from the early to mid 90s era for anybody who might think it's just Self-Titled spitting over shit that Buckwild had produced that's already known. It's all beats that haven't seen the light of day. So I want to make that clear. And second, I want to give props to Mr. Sinister of the Executioners for supplying all the scratches and DJ shit for this album. Props to Mr. Sinister. Okay, now let me get into these tracks. Track 1, The Deal Maker. That track sets the tone for the entire album. The track begins very eerie for a few seconds, very quiet, and then those drums kick in and Self-Titled takes off like a fucking F-15 fighter jet. Continues more powerfully into track 2, Out to Lunch, featuring Tretch of Naughty by Nature. I want to give props to Tretch. He's from right here in Jersey, Brick City. Self-Titled and Tretch ripping it apart. Tretch, I haven't heard anything for a while. He's been quiet for a few years. He's a dope MC. He hasn't lost it. He appears on here and also that Elder Sensei album that I reviewed before. I hope to hear more from Tretch in the near future. Track 3, Eraserheads, featuring Vinny Paz of Jedi Mind Tricks. It's Celph and Vinny going back and forth, spitting that hardcore gangster shit over a crazy beat, and it's just, it is what it is. It's just fucking ill. That's all I could say about this album. And also, there's a bar in there that displays Vinny Paz's never-ending hatred for Kanye West. I like Kanye, so I mean, it was a funny bar, but whatever. Track 4, Fuck Master Sex. Obviously, that's a play on the name of Funk Master Flex. The song speaks for itself. It's about Self-Titled fucking bitches. Dope shit. It even has the Funk Master Flex bomb sound effect on there, which is just fucking great. Track 5, Swashbuckling, featuring Apathy, Ryu, and Esoteric. Dope track. Again, you got just skilled lyricists coming together on that track, and what makes that track stand out is the use of transitions. Like for every fucking rapper on there, the beat switches up. It's not the same breakbeat the whole time. Props to Buckwild for that, because there's not a lot of producers doing that type of shit anymore. So that track is ill. Track 6, I Could Write a Rhyme. Basically, in a nutshell, that track is just a self-titled history lesson, talking about how he came up in Florida with his group Equilibrium, moved to New York, hooked up with Apathy to form the Demigods. And he even speaks about that altercation that he had with Cage a few years back. And it is kind of funny how he's rhyming it or what he's saying. But again, I hate to be fucking diplomatic, but I'm a big fan of Self-Titled and I'm a big fan of Cage. Well, I'm a big fan of older Cage. So I'm kind of neutral when it comes to that shit. Track 8, Mad Ammo, featuring FT and R.A. the Rugged Man. Y'all already know I'm a huge R.A. the Rugged Man fan. FT jumped on the track, did his thing. Actually, Mad Ammo is a single off of this album, and they have a video. Love the concept of the video, how they poke fun at MTV with that I Love the 90s bullshit. Instead of I Love the 90s, they have I Fucks with the 90s, which is fucking funny as hell. But check that video out. Let me jump ahead to track 10, There Will Be Blood. huge ass posse cut featuring Sadat X, Grand Puba, AG, OC, and Diamond D. So you got basically part of Brand Nubian and Digging in the Crates all smashed together on one track with self-titled. This shit, it just reminds me of them old school posse cuts where just, you know, a bunch of heads would come together and make one dope track. That's just ill. You just got nothing but dope lyricists on here. Track 11, Miss Those Days. Need I go into that track? You already know. It's a dope track anyway. Let's see. Let me jump ahead to track 14, Styles Ain't Raw, featuring Apathy and Chino XL. Y'all know I already love Apathy, dope MC, and I want to give props to Chino XL, another Jersey bred lyricist. Styles Ain't Raw was the first street single for it. There's no video for it, but it was the first thing that was used to promote this album. Dope track. Apathy, Chino XL, and self-titled over a Buckwild beat. I don't even have to go into that. And then I'll jump to the end. I'll go right to track 16. Time Travels On, featuring Magic Most and Dutch Massive. So it's basically equilibrium on that track because those two MCs were with self-titled when he was down in Florida in the group Equilibrium, and they're doing their thing, ripping it apart, and wow, that's basically it, guys. Also, let's see, I want to give props to the people who did additional vocals on this album. H2, Lord Digger, Sharifa Rifa, Anthony Flav Black, and Blackistan. My rating of this album is a 9.5 to 9.75 out of 10. This album really defined taking it back, much like the Elder Sensei album did this year. I mean, because like I said with that review, a lot of motherfuckers talk about taking it back, let's take it back to the golden era. Well, Self-Titled and Buckwild, thank you so much for putting this album out and actually taking it back. Thank you. And this album, I'm surprised this CD isn't melted by now as many times as I've been playing this shit. But guys, don't sleep on this shit. Self-Titled, ill lyricist, Buckwild, legendary producer, like I need to even talk about him. And y'all know the deal. Leave your love, leave your hate, most of all subscribe, support good fucking music. Alright? Peace, bitches.
Ignore weather. To live off the land. To eat things and to make a billy goat puke. To dispose of enemy personnel. To kill. Period.